On this episode of Eye in the Sky, we've got anti-tank plays, open field ambushes, tank-on-tank combat, and intense infantry firefights. This is Hrodna Border, and if you're asking yourself, Moi, I don't recognize that name, well, you shouldn't, because this is a custom map that someone recommended I check out. And man, am I glad I did. It's set in Hrodna, a small town in Belarus on the border of Poland and Lithuania, and fun fact, if you search for Hrodna in Google right now, my YouTube stream where we actually played this event live is included in this little town overview. This is really going to confuse a few tourists who are like, wait a second, is there a full-blown war going on in Hrodna? No, there's not, but we had a lot of fun pretending. The map plays a bit like Yeho, Gordok, and Black Coast, all kind of wrapped up in one, and it really gives you a nice mix of urban combat, open field assaults, and really grindy, fun forest fighting. It's a huge breath of fresh air, it's really fun, and if you do like Eye in the Sky but also want to see how this looks on the ground as actual players, I do also have a video on that as well. Click up in the top right to get to that one. But back to the round. For this playtest of Hrodna Border, we just wanted to keep it basic, so we had the Americans going up against the Russians. The US will be using their 3rd Brigade Combat Team 1st Infantry Division, which is an incredibly well-balanced unit. There's some light transport options, a couple strikers, a Bradley, and an Abrams for good measure, but it all really revolves around supporting their infantry. On the other side, Russia's 49th Combined Arms Army is also pretty much a mirror image. It's balanced around the infantry and vehicles working together. They want to take advantage of their Tigers and BTRs, which in my opinion are far better than the Strikers, and they also want to make sure this BMP-2 and the heavily armored T-90A gets into the action. As we know, they'll be fighting on Hrodna Border Random Advanced and Secure V1, with the US starting in the northwest corner top left of your screen. The objectives stick to the north and east and actually do favor the Russians since they line up pretty well with the road leaving Maine, while the Americans have to take smaller, less direct roads to their caps. Either way, neither team knows the map. This is completely new to everyone, so expect awesome squad chaos everywhere. We'll be on board with the US's command comms, meaning that you'll hear all the squad leaders talking on the radio, and they'll be blue on the map. Russians will be red, and that's the rundown. But before we get into the action, please let me know what you guys think about this play-tested map. Now, there's no guarantee this could ever become a real map in Squad, but Haryu used to be a custom map, Anvil used to be a custom map, Lashkar Valley used to be a custom map, so it's not uncommon for Squad to actually purchase maps and incorporate them in the game. If this looks like something that you would like to see in actual Squad, let me know down below, and hey, I don't know, maybe OWI can look into it. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get into the action. Our initial rollout has pretty much ended, and we are getting the first couple vehicles out to the border area for Red 4 and Red 1. They have AT and the Tigers here, and even AT and the BTR. I like that, having infantry inside the BTR as well. Really nice to see. And dude, this POI is just so cool. BTR is he should be okay, but this Tiger might not be. We're gonna have a couple strikers potentially ambushing this Tiger. And
Squad 6, you have a light vehicle heading your way.
Keep up the call out, Squad 12.
BTR on my way to move.
I'll try and get a marker on it.
BTR trying to take some shots
And it fucking hurts.
at the helicopter. You can hear in chat. They're saying, yeah, that one hurts. Strikers just north of us. We have the Tiger sitting at your screen. And strikers are now unloading on the hip, but really not much they can do from that distance. Also, the 50 cals for the strikers overheat very quickly.
Decrewed on main road. Copy.
First combat is actually Blue 6. Polar is knocking out the Tiger east down the road, and you still have Red 4 trying to keep eyes on these strikers. The strikers can get pinned by the cord from this Tiger, and with the BTR just south as well, they need to be very careful. But thankfully, these strikers are wolf packing.
Watching their light Vic.
There's a BTR just sitting there on 11, observed. Squad 6, BTR heading down the main road. You might want to move.
BTR is going north. BTR is going north.
And the BTR that they're talking about
BTR was heading towards my my move marker.
is way out west.
Copy.
So multiple BTRs. So the advantage for the Americans is that their BTRs, you can see as they try to unload into an American position here. Ooh, and the MAT Vs are getting hit. The BTR is sending it. Going right into the point, loses a couple tires, and it's amphibious. It's going to jump right into that pond. One MAT V dead. AT misses, goes right over. Can the 50 cal gunners get on target?
We're tied up with this
BTR, oh, and the AT misses again. Multiple misses by American AT. And now the 50 cal from the MAT V turns on it. BTR able to finally get on target. The MAT V also goes down. Two MAT V's dead. BTR loses both of his front tires. It's smoking hard. And now it's going to pop smoke.
Why would you put down the ham over here? No, not a good idea.
From the American POV, you've had so many chances for your anti-tank, but just nothing has happened. Absolute disaster class from American AT. Are they going to be able to redeem themselves right here?
Five, go mess up that BTR. He's up north.
And he does. Great shot in the end.
He sounds like he's dead.
Yeah, he
Do we have confirmation? Do we have confirmation?
He's very dead, yes. Both BTRs are dead. Both BTRs are dead.
Okay, perfect. Good shit.
So BTR on the north side causes some havoc, but it sounds like strikers who we were just watching, they were able to kill the BTR on the east side. They did trade one of the strikers. We can see red or blue 5 RTB, but with the Tiger and BTR, looks like at least to get something out of it. But two MAT Vs
Let's just keep it for now.
and a striker for two BTRs. Not the best of trades, not the worst of trades, but with Pond Homestead fully secured now, and Lososna Riverside being secured by the Russians here in a second, Campground is going to be the third point for the U.S. And the problem with that is that it's the third point, not the fourth point, which means Russia right now for their map position, you can see they didn't have to worry about those forward Tigers and BTRs charging and getting those vehicles kind of backed up and trying to protect their actual capture points. So Russia able to just cap the points without being bothered, no worry, and they're going to be in a much better position, especially since Lososna, that's how I pronounce it, right? Lososna Riverside is kind of right next to the road. A very advantageous spawn actually for Russia. Everything pretty much on this main hardball road. Americans instead, they have these dirt roads. It's not horrible, but you have Creek Homestead kind of in the middle of nowhere. Pond Homestead, it's a little bit harder to get to, and then Campground now as well. We can see this dome here, or I guess sphere. Hold on a second, what is this?
I'm being engaged by a Tiger to the northwest of Campground.
We're taking the position. On to the next one.
Tiger taking shots.
Looks like the map is more favored to the east side.
At the American. Matt V just heard on comms, he's getting shot by a Tiger. Thankfully, though, if he's paying attention, this is an open top.
Hey, 11, what was on your observe?
Tiger Roman trying to finish up this Matt V. Add another vehicle to their tally.
It can't be a BTR, they're both dead. It's gonna be a BMP.
They're good comms from the helicopter.
I have eyes, I have eyes.
Look out for him.
Ooh, little hitch here. Apologize, modded map, not as optimized as maybe other maps. But back on target, and the Tiger driver unfortunately smacks right into a tree. Going to try to dismount, but might not be able to leave in time. Tiger on fire. Gunner went down in those trees, and Tiger will pop.
Squad 6, helicopter just landed behind you.
Trev, what's on your observe?
West of you.
So overall, a pretty even vehicle trade. A couple Tigers, couple Mat Vs, couple BTRs, a Striker. All vehicles are more or less, ticket-wise, just kind of canceling each other out. We have to see which teams can actually use their vehicles for the important caps, as we have Campground just started to get American infantry spawning in. You can see the big red wave starting to push through. We're going to turn these off so you can see it a bit easier. Red wave starting to push into Campground, but just underneath it, if I turn this map on, and ooh, AT nearly smoking that Blackhawk.
We're heading there now.
The only Chad 420 almost pulled off a hell of a shot. But so the Los Sosna Riverside is this dome ahead of you, and you can see the attacking fob from the southwest of its position. This is Campground, and they are going to have to make sure that this, see, maybe about two or so squads from the Russians don't get up here. Hab right in the middle too, so they might be able to overrun relatively quickly.
Hey, one, is that you, Rocket?
Breadstick, open them up. Good little defensive positions. Maybe moving left to right. Mystery Derp dodges machine gun fire.
I'm hit.
They're pushing up east.
GL knocks a couple hit points off of Jacob there. Tags him with the frag.
Hey, one, did you have infantry on your
Lithium off to his left. Has to be careful. Mystery Derp coming around for the flank, and good shots on target.
No, I don't know if one of
And this might open up this flank. You got Larry Fisherman up in the camo, but Breadstick, Jacob, and Omega, they've lost their direct defense off their front left.
We spotted the Hab underneath the bridge at J5.
Jacob running up, gets tagged, has to hit the deck. EMP fire out in the distance as well. Mystery Derp coming, trying to get a huge flank here.
One, some comms, please, man.
Yeah, our gunner just lagged out right before that. There's a BMP Foxtrot 3.
Is that BTR marked accurately?
Going straight up to the Hab.
Yeah,
Just get killed by.
it's moving.
Yeah,
Jumping
that
up
would've been some great
inside.
information earlier, but
Nobody inside.
Was that AT that shot you 5?
nah,
And he sees that
BMP
radio.
got hit by a dub.
And he's just going to wait, try to get buddies next to him to get this fob to be overrun.
Helicopter mark.
And there it is. Cookie Rat coming in from the south side. So 2 enemy within 20 meters is over on the Hab. This is unspawnable. Larry Fisherman needs to be careful.
Shit.
And Mystery Derp derps a little bit, but he is able to finish him off.
I got a bandage.
Get in.
Thought he was going to lose that for a second. Open up with the full auto, and that just did not pan out. Jacob, 86, and Lithium turn around. Mystery Derp goes down. Hab should now be spawnable. Cookie Rat still in the Hab.
A second now.
We're going to check that a second, and it is. You got about 10-15 seconds until it's spawnable. Jacob tries to get Larry the Fisherman up.
Alright, I got airstrike up. I'm gonna get back to the head.
Immediately goes up and then gets
Airstrike outside of
popped by
campground.
Cookie. Don't worry about your bandage. Jacob, what you doing, buddy? Cookie Rat now able to reload.
Friendly's over here. Help me out.
Alright guys, enemy MBT is being marked.
Alright, he's dead.
Jacob goes down, and then you have Russians coming in for support. Omega Astra on the backside, and now they have a Tiger and other infantry. They're just swarming at Breadstick as well. He's getting shot by Pistol. Pistol versus Machine Gun. Apparently Pistol wins. And the Russians
I got you.
may be able to take Campground out from under the Americans.
gotta get Riverside to double neutral this.
So this is going down. Now the important fight is on Riverside. As you heard in command chat, Polar is saying we need Riverside to double neutral. You have a lot of infantry for both teams on Riverside.
Enemy tank and armor.
It is possible to double neutral this. You just need to knock out this position here, and that's actually a really,
Do you guys need air support at
really
campground,
well-made
or,
fighting position on the top of these rocks.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting over at campground.
The heavy foliage just making it hard for both sides to push through. You can see
We're putting up a good fight, but I put the shit in a bad location. Sorry.
You're good, you're good.
is not being capped. And hold on a second. Wow, the rally, Blue 8 rally is saving Campground right now. Can they hold off to allow this attack from the Americans to clear out the north side? And we're starting to get a little bit of pressure for the eastern flank of the Russians.
He's right, fucking hell. They're like prone out near a rock. Just around my mark. Yeah, I see him.
Harry knocks out Saber, not Walker. Oh, it's 7th Cav. PFC Preacher goes down, not Walker as well. That's a 3-piece for Harry. Kagame also goes down 4. And he sees Zanny.
Where are they pushing in at campground?
You might see him crawling now off to his left. He goes for the reload.
No, not at the moment.
No, yeah. There's a tiger at campground, by the way. Tiger with like 2 dudes.
Harry falls back a bit.
There's a machine gunner mowing down our troops.
Enemy helo, enemy squad just landed on my observe marker.
Sees the grenade being tossed. And it's right behind him.
Squad 6.
Knocked out by the squad leader, Sully.
Helo was injured, but he dismounted the full squad.
And this fight is so close. See, helicopter engine dismount a full squad. That's up north here. 6, Blue 6, able to actually knock out a flanking Red 7 in a heli drop. That was a hot drop as well. I'm going to take a peek at this because this is important as well. While they work on that eastern side. Polars with that Matt V, and he's just defending this position.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll head over there soon.
Nice little set of ruins in the middle of this field. You see the ruined helicopter out in the distance.
In case we lose it.
BMP as well, being a little cheeky on the north side. iCup and Nimble Lobster holding this northern route.
I killed their SL and all of their AT plus the helo. I don't know if they got a rally down though, back behind us.
So good defense, very important. Even if they did have a rally, very important that they didn't get a fob down. So good defense by the Americans, and that has given Campground time. You can see Campground is halfway to neutral, but you have Jacob 86 and Larry Fisherman just holding it down as the Riverside point is now starting to tick American. Every part of this contested game right now, defense point, attack point, and some flanks, just very good fights. Everyone just doing their job. I'll turn this on so you can see the objective area, and Americans have slowly but surely worked themselves into the riverbed. They're on the radio, slow, digging it down. The rocks are still a little hard to push up and clear. Americans have been able to get up just a little bit, but as you can see, weren't up there for long. The Russian holdout. Penguin trying to do some accurate semi-fire shots towards Zimbo Slice's, what was it, bush here. He gets tagged himself. 215 tickets to 232. It is an absolute slugfest.
Throw nades if you got them.
Throw nades if you got them.
I got a tiger east of campground.
And it is about 80% to neutral. Mercy coming in, or Merc rather, coming in, and Plaque knocks him out. Americans, once again, they were about to get rolled at Campground, and some good effort from Blue 8. Blue 8 honestly saving the game right now for the Americans, giving the attackers enough time to do something. Let's see if this hill can be conquered. Morgan finally goes down on the top rock. Machine gun is silenced.
Sandbags, I got a toss grenade.
Black goes to toss a grenade. And it bounced actually back towards him.
We found enemy BMP2. Incoming BTR. Put that mark down for us.
And heavy arms unloading. Good job by Placker, and the hill looks to be just about clear. This is an indirect fire bunker on the other side here between Placker and Houndskip. Houndskip though chilling in the bushes.
Yeah, someone on that railway, but close to.
The Americans look like they might actually be able to take this. Houndskip
Okay, I think I know where we're
takes the first couple shots, but a good turn, and Plack full autos. But you have now a Russian vehicle push on this north side. Fob is going down for the Russians, but all this pressure, can the vehicles help turn the tide a little bit? T90 on the cliffs as well, going to be a little bit out of position. I mean, we might be able to snipe a helicopter or something, but not going to be able to help the point too much here. Looks absolutely cool though. I mean, it looks awesome as he slip and slides down the rock face. Good work by the Americans, and with this radio on bleed, I believe it's on bleed, yes it is, as well as a cap, there's going to be a lot of Russians completely out of position on the north side.
Is enemy tank near you? We're getting to
enemy BTR is near us.
197 tickets to 202, very evenly matched at the moment. And
No sign
Hey, get rid of that radio, man. We're capping Riverside. You're gonna have to get rid of that radio, bro.
Riverside has been secured.
The one on campground?
Fantastic work by the Americans. And can they finish it off
Put down a new one outside of Riverside, maybe on like.
and take a shot
Just north of Lizzia
on the vehicles for the Russians, taking the point, knocking out a fob, and then a couple vehicles here and there. Americans may well and truly be on the front foot.
Going through the woods. Cutting through the woods.
I'm gonna try to run.
Enemy tank northwest with BTR.
Oh, actually, hold on. I might be.
Abrams rolling through the forest, and there's going to be the T90 up the road a little bit to their front right. They're getting some comms from the helicopter. And there it is, moving right to left. Both take shots, and it looks like the Abrams able to track that T90, so the front armor of the T90 going to be pretty much out of play. Shot from the T90 deflects off the turret. Abrams should be able to make a huge pick here. T90 is cooking off, and what a play by the Americans! What a play by American armor, American helicopters. Backed all the way to their own side of the map, losing their own point, losing a fob. Some fantastic defense by the infantry, just really a fire team amount has led into an absolute destruction of the Russian side, losing a point, losing a fob, and now the massive T90, and hold on a second, is that the BMP as well? And it is! It's a two-piece. Americans just 1-2 punch the vehicles, and we might be able to see a rout here. Russians completely displaced across the map. A bunch of infantry on the north side, that is out of play. A bunch of infantry just stuck between no man's land, and now you have Kalachki West. And if we turn this on, there is no Russian spawn down here. This is an American spawn that is getting pushed by Russians. A Russian spawn up by Campground. Russia only has one team spawn on the map, and it is completely out of play. This could be a huge, unexpected rout by the Americans in just a matter of minutes. 245 tickets to 131. Massive, massive plays here by everyone on the American side. And once again, guys, this is a custom map. This is a map made by someone who is not being paid to make maps, and it is playing like one of the best squad maps in game right now. It is huge props to the map maker, because the objectives are really well done. Your micro terrain, your map assets like buildings, your rocks, the riverbeds, everything is just turning out to be really engaging gameplay as Merc 1 gets murked by Oleg.
Hey, 3, what all did you
Such
knock out?
a good job to make a really entertaining map.
What all enemy vehicles did you knock out? It's already been marked.
We knocked it. We took down a.
This is the type of stuff that I want to be, I'm trying not to be hyperbolic in saying it's the future of squad, but if you allow map makers and mod makers the same type of freedom and accessibility that Armor Reforger gives for their community, then squad is going to have a very successful future. But you need these maps to be a little bit more accessible, these mods to be a little bit more accessible on the back end for server admins and modders and stuff. But this is going extremely well. Fantastic work again by the Americans. Great defensive effort, and also attacking on the north side by the Russians too. Take a look at the map. The Russians, though, they aren't out of it. There's still a pretty decent group. The FOB, it is a little out of play, but it doesn't mean that they can't attack Lososna Riverside. Americans have had to float back, and if you see, there's a handful of Russians left over. Penguin, Hound, Skip. They were being pressured on this radio here, center of your screen, the hourglass.
BTR coming in from the south.
That blue hourglass in the center of your screen. That was their attack fob, now their defense fob. But as that dug down, you can see off in the distance that Russian wave. They might just push in, and you just have Mounty, Slow, Cheerful, Tunic, Notorious, Dre. Only a handful of defenders that are out here. And these Russians, there's enough Russians to get embedded into the hillside to cause a whole nother big fight.
South.
It might just be a little too far for Klatchki West for the Americans to push quickly.
Maybe he's right on me, actually.
No, he's cross country. He's right in front of us. He's right in front of us.
He's just gonna drive past me, apparently. Or into me.
BTR runs right into a Matt V, and he opens up with the 50 cal. BTR confused. He's missing shots, now finally hitting the shots. BTR turreted. You can see his turret barely moving, and that means the striker off to our front right is going to be able to mop it up. I'll take that trade every day. Are you kidding me? Matt V for a BTR.
Sorry, we got stuck on a fucking rock.
Striker apologizing they weren't able to jump on that quick enough, but the vehicles are starting to fall apart for the Russians. Just not paying attention. And speaking of not paying attention, can the Russians take the Americans by surprise on the north side? 235 tickets to 104. What a huge swing for the U.S., but it can be negated here if Russia is able to get themselves onto Lososna. And I'm looking at the map. Not much of an effort. A small one to maybe try to get over to Klatchki. It's just it's such a drive. You really need to worry about your defense here first. Only Chad 420, Spicy Sprite, Zanny, Map Game Nerd, and Boggy all pushing on. And there's still a handful. You got to give these players credit. Demonius, Bailey, Eugene. Commander, you need bodies on the points. And Eugene takes a chunk out of Spicy, but he goes down. Demonius cresting this hillside that used to be a point a second ago. Map Game Nerd takes a full auto. And speaking of full auto, Demonius goes down. So
it's not clear. It's being proxied right now.
a little bit of a trade here, and
You're gonna have a hell of a time.
you have on the south side Penguin and Falcon. They're actually digging the hab roof down. Oh no, correction. That's just the the shade. I thought the roof was being dug down. No, they're proxying it. Now Falcon and Penguin trying to proxy the hab while Russians attack from the north side. Notorious knocks out Penguin. Can he knock out Falcon? This is for the hab and could be for the point. Hab should be up in just a second. No, they're on the radio now. Notorious knocks him out, but the radio is now being dug down. And oh my goodness, Berkut takes a frag RPG from point blank range. Mutable Prism taking no chances, says we need this radio to keep ourselves in the game. And this could... Ooh, hold on a second. Attack fob is now up for the Americans. And the hab is going to be spawnable in about 20 seconds. Klachki West is already ticking blue, and this might do it. No! Red ticks now on Lososna Riverside. Can they do it again? Bailey and Squareman need to fight off the Russians to prevent the double neutral.
We're going to need more ammo at Klachki.
It is actually all the game stands on Squareman right now and sub. Squareman. Oh, Spicy Sprite actually TKs Morgan and kills Squareman. So now you have two.
Alright, yeah, we definitely do see ammo, honestly.
Sub coming up on the backside of the indirect fire bunker.
Right there, that's where their truck was at, and then we stopped their helicopter from making a drop.
And he takes out two on the backside. Are you kidding me? Needed to bleed. And is it Hater? Go down to sub. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, now there's a whole fire, whole squad amount of Russians here. And let's see the halfway to neutral on Klachki West, but it is less than halfway to neutral on Lososna. This will be a double neutral unless something crazy can happen. Russia's game is on the line as they have finally dug down the radio. Tommy kill.
I'm gonna drop Artie on the east side.
Can they make it bleed out? Goldie off to his front right. Tommy.
Get the radio up.
Oh, Goldie goes down. Oh no, they lose the radio. Are they going to get wiped themselves? Full auto. Nearly Notorious is able to finish him off, but the radio goes down, and that will be huge. There is now only an American, or only a Russian spawn on the Lososna Riverside point, whereas if you can see, there is a, and it's officially double neutral. So, how this works, if you're unfamiliar for double neutrals, the point that is closest to your team. So Lososna Riverside for the Americans, and then Klachki West for the Russians. You need to cap that first. It doesn't matter if there's enemy infantry on the point. You can actually get bodies on the point and begin the cap.
Set up a rally outside of Lososna and try to.
And once you're able to do that, you can then continue on the cap for Lososna. So right now, if we are looking at this point, it is much better. For the Russians right now. They have a hab on their defensive point at Klachki. And Americans are knocking out, or going to try to knock it out with some artillery here as well. Artillery smacking the east side of the point. You can see Lars is actually, he's sneaking into the radio position. And honestly, he had C4 on the radio. Lars knocking out the C4. Hab is going to be unspawnable. Artillery going to mop him up as well. And this is going to be good to at least prevent too quick of a cap on Klachki by the Russians. But the problem is, how can the Americans get back on Lososna? You have a shovel party inside. 5 or 6 Russians just shoveling up the half so it stays up, but now they have to push towards the radio because the radio is just down a stage. Lars has decided to leave it up and not on bleed out, and Sully tossing a grenade in the radio room, not a bad idea.
I'll see if I can get my guys loaded up in the helicopter and go back to
Don't worry about it. You guys sit here. I'm already on this logi. We're not going to set up a hab. We're going to put up a rally outside of the zone and try to break this double nuke.
Good shots by Lars.
He's watching the stairs. Push it.
Yeah, can you help me, cover me, so I can dig this radio completely?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Is that
Also
friendlies?
digging
Yep.
dudes at the entrance.
Lars now digging the radio down, and you have T. Kellen coming around the backside, try to help him out. Bop Tart
Was he?
for the Russians, and now Mystery Derp is getting distracted by Bop Tart. Mystery
Yeah, he's right
Derp.
around the corner.
Some good shots by Lars,
This'll be
or some good shots to take out Lars.
You're shooting from north.
Radio's still on bleed, and that grenade was a little too far. Got a little too much mustard. Oh no! Perfect amount of mustard on it. Causes him to push on out, and T. Killen
Took him down.
kills one.
There's one in the building with the radio.
Copy.
One in the building of the radio, you hear it. And now there's a second one dead outside of the radio. Game goes down.
Larry, there's one dude in the building.
And Mystery Derp is in
He's playing with
the roof, or in the attic.
I'm just gonna hold it as long as I can.
Real quick on the map. So you had a couple
not gonna be
Russians
able to. They're just
able
outside
to
the
stay
building.
on point and cap it, but at the moment you see no Russians
I'm just gonna
are in
delay them.
position, so
Go
it's
for
stuck at a
first
halfway
reinforcements.
can destroy it.
halfway point, and an entire American squad is pushing
What
in.
do we have,
It's gonna take
Proxy,
way too long.
on
I'm not a,
Kachiski? Klachiki, whatever, fuck.
Klatchki.
Careful, there is possibly.
I got upstairs, I got upstairs.
Watch the stairs.
With the pistol, knocks out Larry.
Yo, I'm gonna grenade it.
You have any nades? Nade it.
Yes. Nade's coming in.
Look at all the Americans.
I'll watch
I
the
mean,
Guard the stairs.
I don't have any supplies to put down. I was gonna ask you to shoot,
Goes
but-
full auto. Did the grenade drop?
I dropped it.
He dropped it. Oh, actually takes him out. Martyrdom. Call of Duty says hi, and Mystery Derp takes out a couple, but not able to save the radio. And now, with this completely cleared of Russians, Russia doesn't have a spawn now, but Red 8 coming up, try to drop a rally to push back on. Still though, Los Osno Riverside
We're gonna sweep
doesn't
the
have
east side if you could start checking
any
this out.
Americans on it. 23 tickets. This has to be game. I would be floored if Russia is able to do something, but it's, oh my goodness, look how many Russians are on the points.
6, what got you?
Yeah, guys, there's already people on that radio. The one in.
This might be an Alamo situation. You see Boot Party, Squareman, Deadly, Bailey, and Oleg from the south side, Omega Astra, Breadstick, Jacob, all them on the north side, and they're just stuck on this hill. And Americans starting to cap back.
We're camping, just try to not get yourself sick.
Whole bunch of Russians on this hill. Oh my goodness.
Hey, 3, did that heli make landing north of Klachiki?
No, it did not.
Alright.
Grenade knocks out one. Or a couple of them actually. But I'm also curious on how they dropped a rally Red 8, but it looks like this will be the end
Infantry
of a very, very good game. And with 15 tickets, radio goes down and bleeds out, and there you go. Jeez. 174 tickets to 0. 183 in caps, 129 kills, 96 deaths, 18 vehicles killed, and 49 revives. Same revives on the Russian side. But look at the vehicle destroyed. 7 vehicles for Russia, 18 vehicles. That is going to do it. And here's a turning point. We saw it happen Just what a huge play to Kabla Sosna to prevent the loss on the campsite, and Americans never turned back. Jeez.